Who answers the door? Chris Sims. With a big greeting. You get, what's up? Or, Muscle Beach.
Well, Connor, it's great to have you here
It's
because
awesome
you
to
have
be
been
here.
a draft expert for so long, and it took you, 1 minute? I think 1 minute, 15 seconds to drop an F-bomb?
Oh, yeah, baby. That's right. It's Chris Sims Unbuttoned, and that is, yes, Connor Rogers. You heard his voice, and he will be hosting this show today. And one thing he does have an advantage on Amin Fareed, for sure, is he does have a glossary of curse words that I do like.
Yes, I do.
So you might get a double whammy of F-bombs and things today from both me and Connor Rogers. But Connor, great to see you, man.
Dude, great to be here.
Thanks for coming in, hosting the show,
You don't have to
and
thank me. It's
helping
it's
me out a little
blast.
bit here.
I was so excited to do this. And then the fact that we get a great position group in tight ends.
Yeah.
I mean, what's better than
What?
this?
I know.
Insane.
Well, you told me a few weeks ago, you were like, man, you're going to watch the tight ends. You're
Yep.
going to go, it's insane. I was having people tell me throughout the NFL, it's as good a class as you're ever going to see, or it's as good as I can remember in 15 or 20 years. And it lived up to its billing for sure. So we're going to have a lot of good stuff to talk about today.
Absolutely. And when you look at what makes a good class, everyone always asks, it's like, does it have blue chip talent or is it just deep?
Yeah.
And this group's probably both.
Both.
Which is pretty special.
Definitely.
So this is awesome, man. And I'm so excited to be back here with you. I'm surprised they let two Jersey-ish guys.
Oh.
I mean, I'm from New York, but I've lived in Jersey for 10 years, so it's kind of rubbed off on me.
Yeah.
So we'll
You
keep
got
the-
a little Jersey in your blood now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
We'll watch the curse word count. I lasted a minute and 15 seconds the last time. We'll see how long I can go today.
Yeah, we'll
'cause
see how long you go.
I'm at C, so I
Right.
have to take on some of his traits. I didn't do colored pants.
Well, thank
No.
God you didn't do colored pants.
No, I did black pants.
We're happy. Yeah, it fits with me right
Yes,
there.
yes.
And I mean, one thing, that's another thing. Okay, so yeah, we'll keep a list of advantages you have in Ahmed. You curse better than he does.
More
and
frequently.
Your style. You're kind of
Nice.
styling over there.
Thanks,
Like, I
man.
don't know if I can pull that off right
I'm
there.
on a little denim kick right now, but it's how it is out here in the tri-state. It goes from like 30 degrees to 80
It is
degrees.
everywhere.
You get 2 days of spring, so
Yeah.
it won't be for long. But Sims, let's jump right in here
All right.
and just talk, because I've been obviously listening to your draft rankings, not just this year, but ever since you left Bleacher Report. And I always liked how it opens up with, all right, like, what are you looking for in a player? And tight end, there's a weird balance because they're asked to do so much. They're asked to block. They're asked to block on the move. They're asked to block in a phone booth. And obviously in this era, be a big part of the receiving game. So for you, not only is it what do you look for in a tight end, but how do you value these different things in a tight end?
Yeah,
prospect?
there's different shapes and sizes,
exactly.
and again, like it's a lot like we talk about even with running back and receiver. It's teams, what they have. Oh, we have a big blocking tight end. We don't need that. We want more of the pass catching one. I'm still a little bit on the old school thoughts of tight end play.
Me too.
Now, maybe not like totally have I adjusted in certain areas? Do I put more value into, route running and what they can do in the slot and maybe singled up outside by themselves every now and then? Sure, the game's changed. That's part of the game for a good tight end, right? I mean, you watch any team with a good tight end in the NFL right now, whether that's George Kittle, Kelsey, Kyle Pitts, whoever, they're going to get a few snaps every game where they're split out by themselves. We're going to see how they cover him, what's the adjustment as a safety, as a linebacker, as a corner, and they're going to go from there and formulate off of that. So, of course I want somebody that can do some damage in the pass game. I mean, it's 2023, and we know that's a huge part of the game. I'm still big into blocking, though.
Yep.
I'm not into this guy can't block at all, but it's so sexy in the slot, and he looks pretty a guy let's just throw this out there. Gesicki. I love Mike Gesicki, right? From a guy, in a lot of ways. I don't know if he would be on my team as a tight end.
And the NFL's kind of told you that.
Well, there's some teams that are they're like, we don't want him. And then other ones are like, hey, we can find a role for him, right? I think last year you saw Mike McDaniel. They were put him on the trade block.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there was enough blocking there. They were like, damn, we can't run our Shanahan's run scheme sometimes because you don't block anybody, right? So as much as I love him in the pass game, and go, wow, he creates some mismatches, that part of his game really bothers me, and that's where I'm a little traditional. I still want some you can get the job done blocking. You don't have to be a killer, but you got to get it done, at least assignment-wise.
And you and I were talking before today of how important it is in certain schemes of having that versatility. A lot of these guys are asked to block on the move.
Yes.
They don't need to be, when we watch Kittle, we like the highlight reels, drive him into the ground, and it's great. But with a lot of these guys, it's can you get to your spot on the outside zone and just just take a guy out
Sure.
and not put him in the ground, but just get in his way.
Just get in his way.
And that's when the athleticism, that 10-yard split comes to mind.
No doubt.
Why it's so important.
Yep.
So
wide receiver screens, you see that
100%.
a big part. The tight end is a huge part of those blocking schemes a lot of the time. How can he block and adjust in space with a smaller safety or DB that's trying to make him miss? And there's some ones in this class that are very good in that department. You got everything in this. You do have your pass catcher types that don't block. You got your guys that do a little bit of both. You got some other ones that I go, ooh, no, they're slanted more towards blocking and the run game than they are trusting him in the pass game. And then we got a few special ones that can do both at a pretty damn high level, and we'll get into that in a second. But it's hey, this is different. And tight end. We hit on this like this was exhausting.
Oh, yeah.
Because not only is it deep and versatile, but then it gets into, when they're all this good, it gets hard to differentiate, like, who am I going to put in my top 5? I wrote down 10 guys at first to put in my top 5, and then you start to go through and go, all right, now I got to let me go back and read my notes one more time. Let me go watch 10 more plays just to reaffirm what I wrote in my notes is right. And that's where this one was exhausting a little bit.
It really was, and it's a tough position to scout because there's so much projection involved, and that really goes back to our first question here from JScan11, who asked, why does it seem like tight ends usually get off to a slow start with their NFL careers?
Right.
Is it due to the transition from college to pro, or is it that teams don't use these players correctly?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think you at JScan11, I think you kind of hit all the main topics there. Okay, so first off, why does he get used to, or why does they get off to usually like slow starts? They don't come in the league and dominate like Justin Jeffersons or the Jamar Chases of the world, right? I think the first thing is a little bit of what you alluded to, JScan. The offenses in colleges are different, right? The NFL is the first time, I think a lot of times too, there's a lot on their plate where, again, a tight end in college, and you kind of said it, other than a few teams, they're in a spread offense, and they don't have to really do the traditional tight ends things that we're talking about, right? Where, now they get in the NFL and they're on a team with Shanahan or Sean Payton or Bill Belichick or whoever, and it's like, oh, no, we got enhanced detailed line calls you need to learn. We have lots of rules in our pass game. You have to read the coverage on the run, let alone in this league, Mr. Young tight end, we have safeties and linebackers that can cover you man-to-man.
Yep.
They can run with you. So
it's big thing is trust from a coaching staff.
Exactly right. So I think there's that aspect, right? That off the bat. The offenses in college not really knowing how to utilize a tight end or formulating things around them because it's not sexy. And, most teams usually, I got a receiver and we'll just get him the ball and we'll run the ball, whatever. And then here's my last piece of this, Connor. And, again, please give me your thoughts too here, is NFL quarterbacks are made for tight ends. Yeah. NFL quarterbacks, the reason they're NFL quarterbacks is because they go, oh, wait, this guy's big. I can put this ball right here even if he's covered, and he'll turn and get it. Or, oh, this window's tight, but damn, he's got a big catch radius. I'm going to throw this there even though he's covered, right? So the NFL quarterback as well is more comfortable throwing tight end type of throws as compared to the college quarterback. How many guys on film did you watch and go, holy shit, he's wide open. Why the f*** doesn't the quarterback look there? Holy shit, he's wide open, right? Yep. But their mind is so receiver, or screen to the running back that it's just not an emphasis of college offenses at times.
It's a great way to put it. And when you look at it, it's funny to look at the balance of, I know you've done the wide receiver class. This is a small wide receiver class. Mm-hmm. And that kind of, magnifies how important the tight end position is because you have catch radius, you have the ability to shield defenders. Like you said, Sims, there's a trust factor in that 8 to 12-yard range.
Exactly.
I can fit it in this window, middle of the field or the seam.
Right.
Where, hey, the guy that's 5'8", even if he's in the slot, I'm still, the ball better be on time, and he better have a step or two, where the tight end needs maybe half a step. Some of these guys don't.
Some of them don't need any.
They don't need any.
We're going to talk about somebody in my top 5 where I go, he never really gets separation,
and
but he catches the ball all the time
with
people hanging all over him.
So right before we get into your top 5, I mean, we have to ask, because we've hyped up how strong of a tight end class this is, and we're going to show some of the higher-end tight end picks over the last, 10 years, essentially. Is this the strongest tight end class you've seen in a long time? Because for me, I looked at it and said, man, we talked about this, getting 5 in the top 5, you felt so bad about 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Exactly.
And that's frustrating.
Yes, right. There was, my number 6, it was like, I was like, damn, I really want to make it a tie for 5 and just get him in there. But, yes, like, since I've been in this side of the business, I can't remember anything even coming close to this at this position.
Yep.
I mean,
and you see, right, if you're watching right now, you could see the tight ends that have been drafted in the first round over the last 10 drafts.
Right.
And, obviously Kyle Pitts was a freak. Then you have Hawkinson, Fant, Hayden Hurst, O.J. Howard. Like, for the most part, those guys' careers haven't maybe lived up to the expectations.
No.
Hawkinson's been good,
right,
but not top 10 pick at tight end good.
No, agreed.
So it's a unique position in that there's a thought process in the league of if you're going to use a first-round pick on tight end, you better be right and you better be getting a freak in that aspect.
Yeah, and it seems like, for most part, there's been more top-end tight ends taken in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round.
Yep.
And again, in the first round, you get a little, as we've discussed, this, first-round teams are, there's an elite trait here. I think I can make him into the well-rounded player that maybe the guy in the 3rd round is, but this guy has, a skill set that guy in the 3rd round doesn't have, so let me see if I can mold him. And you take a chance on an O.J. Howard, even though you go, he doesn't have great feel and he's not a great route runner, but damn, he's so big and so fast, I feel like we got to take a chance on him, right?
Yep.
So there's that aspect. Eric Ebron, same thing. Oh, look at his movement. Look at what he does after the catch. Oh, he's not a great blocker, but we'll get more out of him in the blocking. Well, no, you didn't. He doesn't block.
Stay the same player his whole career.
Right, exactly. So that didn't happen that way. But yeah, I think, overall, that's what happens at the position. And then you got guys there where, like, hey, you said it, Pitts is like unlike anything we've ever seen. And he can not only play the position, but he was an athlete that was a freak for defensive end, let alone tight end.
It was like a small forward playing
right,
tight, like
exactly
being a
right.
pass
It was
catcher.
LeBron playing tight end, right? So that was rare. But you got guys like Evan Ingram and David Njoku to the question earlier, where the development process, getting comfortable in the NFL and what you're asked to do and the size and the speed of the game, where they're starting to show their ass. Yeah. Where you're starting to go, damn, they're really good, those two right there. But there was a little bit of I got to get used to life in the NFL. So it does seem like the tight end has a little bit underwhelming in those first round. But I got a feeling in this one, this is not going to be on. I feel like there's 4 or 5 here that are for sure, like, I don't see them messing it up. Out of the 20 tight ends of the combine, there was 15 that I went, there's 15 that are going to have good NFL careers.
I felt the same way.
There's 10 that I looked at and went, wait, this guy's going to be a starter in the NFL for a long time. And then there was 5 or 6 where I went, okay, this guy's a star. And then these next 5 could all also be stars in football too. So that's where it was a really interesting class altogether.
There's a lot of high ceilings with this class, but they're still accomplished players where you like the floor. And that's what I liked about this tight end class. I was like, well, if he doesn't grow here, he's still a good starter at the NFL level. And it kind of brings me to number 1.
Yeah.
And this player is in a tier of his own. For you, your number 1 tight end.
Is he in a tier of his own for you?
He is, but not the same tier.
Okay.
But still, I believe he is in the same. He is in a tier of his own.
Right.
You have him tier 1. I have him tier 2. Who is your tight end 1 going into this draft?
Dalton Kincaid from Utah. I heard all the hype about him. I can't say that I really got a good look at him like during the college football season. I think I saw, one game, maybe Utah late in Utah USC, like a night game, right? I remember watching that going, damn, who's this big guy running down the field? Oh, everybody was talking he's a top tight end prospect. But he's one of those where you turn it on, you expect good things, and then you turn it on, you go, holy shit. This guy is awesome.
And they used him.
They used him.
That was the difference.
So he's ready. Yeah. You get to see everything, let alone physical skills are off the charts good. I mean, off the charts good in my opinion, man. I mean, first off, natural athlete, right? Great pair of legs. He's not rocked up, but I have no problem with that. It's just like big, strong man, athletic guy. Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, those guys, they're not rocked up. They're just big, natural guys who are good athletes. And what I loved about him right off the bat, and you know me, ass and legs is the first thing I'm going to look at. What a great pair of thighs he has on him. That just is the inkling to go, ooh, I think he can run. I think he can accelerate. I think he's going to be able to break tackles, all of that. And then he gets out there and you watch him and you go, oh, my gosh, whoa. The way he gets off the line of scrimmage, the great feet he has, to avoid people at the second level, linebackers or whatever else, and then the feet and the hips and the route running to go along with it, let alone what he does after the catch, where that was this after the catch, he's receiver-like.
Yes.
Right? Gets upfield in an instant. He can make people miss. It's not like that's going to be his number one thing, breaking ankles, but he can weave and make you miss. And then, he breaks a lot of tackles.
Yeah, people bounce off of him.
They bounce off him. He I have a phrase of like a guy like him, and I said this about Zay Flowers and then Jigba at receiver. When they catch the ball, they're going, I'm going to score a touchdown. Even when they're on their own 5-yard line, they're like, I'm going to go score.
Yep.
Right? And that's the mentality I felt like Kincaid, let alone, all right, and I'll let you speak in a second here.
Sure. No, please, keep going.
His blocking was really good.
Oh, you liked the blocking.
I did.
Okay.
I did. Listen, there's certainly plays where he falls off blocks or misses blocks, but here's the thing. There's plenty enough to see it as you go through the games themselves and you go, oh, damn, he does a good job. He can block people big in space, do all that. He has a play here and there, but I'm about, again, this is not one where I go, oh, this is a wimp or this is a guy that's soft that doesn't want to do it. Yeah, he's a pass. He wants to play pass-catching tight end.
Yeah, that's his calling card trait, for sure. Absolutely.
Right? But I was a little like, ooh, man, this guy, he's not afraid to have a collision. He's not afraid to, mix it up a little bit.
That was our main question here from JBT
right.
Woods. He said,
cool.
Does Kincaid have to be looked at differently than everyone else due to lack of blocking, or is there enough on tape there?
I think there's enough there.
Okay.
I really did. And again, that's not what you're going to
You're not drafting him to do that.
You're not drafting him to do that. But also on top of that, if you draft him, you're not going to go, oh, wait, we can't run to his side. We can't run behind him. And here's another thing, too, where, when I see guys like this where I do see toughness and physicality and all that, I just go, well, he's going to get in an NFL locker room and he's going to go, damn, they're putting me on film in front of the team and I'm missing a block.
It's not the pack anymore.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I'm not going to be able to just get away with I hit him hard and I just leaned on him, and that's another thing he does. He stops his feet on contact sometimes and lets people fall off him a little bit and do that. But, yeah, all in all, I did not have enough of an issue with it. I wouldn't be bad if somebody took him in the top 10. He's better than TJ Hawkinson was coming out, in my opinion, for sure. I'm not going to go there to say he's Kyle Pitts as far as the freak athlete.
I would agree with that.
But he knows how to play the position, every bit as good as Kyle Pitts. That's what I will say.
I can make an argument he has the best hands in the draft, or he's up there for best hands in the draft. And I'm not counting the wide receiver class.
Please do. I didn't even get to that part, so go ahead. Talk about it. Throw it out there.
When you look at it, so he only had 2 drops in 2022, and he had 70 catches.
Yes.
So this is a target monster.
Right.
49 of the 70 catches were for first downs.
Yeah.
So, if you need to move the chains, this is who you look for.
Yep.
Incredible production. I wrote that he just eats in the middle of the field in the red zone, and he didn't have huge arms at the combine. His arms were 35th percentile-ish, but I never noticed that on tape. I saw a huge catch radius, and the thing is, you can come in at the combine and have long arms, but do you maximize the catch radius on tape?
Exactly right.
And that's
your
what
long
he does.
arms and you're catching it by your chest every time. Who the cares about your arms?
It does not matter at all.
Exactly
But when
right.
you show up on tape and you maximize the catch radius, which is exactly what he did. And I wrote that he's not very sudden or twitchy before the ball is in his hands, but it didn't matter. He doesn't need a ton of space to make a play on the ball.
No.
He can go find the ball left to right, over his head, low. It just really the adjustments to the football were very, very natural. And that's probably the biggest difficulty for a lot of college tight ends. They're just not. It's probably why they get moved to tight end initially, because they don't make the adjustments wide receivers do.
Stiff
and it's
and
you can add 20 pounds
to
play tight end. With him, it didn't look like that. Interesting background. He's really a high school basketball player. I think he played 1 year high school football. He walks on at San Diego as a football player. After 2 years, he transfers to Utah, and then for the last 2 years, he's been one of the best tight ends in the country. So I actually evaluated him last year, Chris, because I assumed he was going to be in the draft.
Right.
I couldn't believe he went back to school.
Right.
So when he went back to school, I was like, you didn't have to go back to school, but he did, and he had a monster year, and he's slotted to be a first-round pick.
Yeah. I'd be shocked if he gets past 15 or somewhere. I wouldn't be shocked if he went in the top 10. I really wouldn't. But you said it right too, as far as one, route running. He does it a little bit with great feel. He leans people. He changes speed. He's got very good hips and feet, so he can really just in a nice fluid way, come out of an out route or a break or whatever, stick his foot in the ground and turns his hips, and it's just easy. He's just a nice fluid athlete that way. And then, when he gets in the ball in his hand, there is a little bit more of a twitch aspect to him.
I'm comfortable again.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. And then, I'm big into the last aspect you talked about. That's life in the NFL for a tight end. Again, we talked about it's a lot of tight window throws, people hanging all over you. So how do you catch the ball in those moments? And that's where I did love him. I mean, he extends his arms all the time. He's a snatcher of the ball out of the air. He doesn't wait for it to get
Yes.
He goes and
Throw
grabs
a number
it.
to you on that.
Right.
2021, he hauled in 7 of 9 contested catches. This year, 9 of 18. Like, if you're at 50% or higher, that's insane.
Yes.
And it's not 50-50 balls.
No,
it's not.
It's
60-40, 80-20.
Yeah, exactly right.
Much higher.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm totally with you on that.
Yes, and he's natural with the back shoulder stuff, all the stuff you talked about. He's fearless over the middle. He puts his body in position to catch the ball sometimes, and you go, ooh, you're about to get your head knocked off, and he does not care. So I love that aspect about him. Hey, listen, the only thing you can nitpick about is the blocking, like you brought up.
That was the one thing that bothered me a little bit. I think the inline's going to be a tough adjustment at the next level.
Yeah, I see the will and physicality. And it's like a defensive end sometimes who's, he's got all the measurables, but we go, he just doesn't play as physical and stuff as we want, right? Usually like Montez Sweat, guys like Danielle Hunter, where there was those questions. They get around other alphas. They go, whoa, this tackle, my coach is calling me out in front of everybody. It changes them. I see enough real power and physicality to go, I think he's going to be fine on the end of the line of scrimmage. And like you said, it's not going to be his calling card either way, but phenomenal football player. And, damn, I don't know where he goes. The first team I think of is the Raiders at 7, just because I know they value it. They just got rid of Darren Waller.
Yep.
But, I would say it starts there, and then somewhere between there and 20 is where Dalton Kincaid goes.
You look at, like, the Chargers as a luxury in that offense.
My gosh.
Yeah, because, they have size at wide receiver, but to have a seam guy like that for Herbert.
Herbert's a great, you're covered. It doesn't matter. I can just throw it here, and your wingspan or your size or your ability to box somebody out will get it done. And there's no doubt that would be a nice fit.
And you wonder, like, he's been dealing with the back injury. He wasn't able to test, which probably would have helped him. He is a player that is, going to be 24 during his rookie season. I don't think all of these things hurt him in a sense, but if he falls to the back end of the round 1, you start dreaming Bengals.
Oh my gosh!
Luxury. You start getting really big thoughts.
I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked.
It does seem like he's going in the top 20
I
picks.
think of teams like Houston at 12. D'Amico Ryans, the 49ers coaching staff's there, and it's Nick Caserio. It's a team that values tight end play. So that's where I have a hard time thinking he gets outside of that top 20 for sure. And you know what? He's one of those guys, almost like Devin Witherspoon, that I don't think the combine matters. The tape says it all.
You're right. It's like, what more were you looking to see?
Exactly right. He runs by everybody. He can make plays after the catch. He's, physical with the ball in his hands. He knows how to separate and route running. He catches the ball in traffic. F off combine, and let's move on with life.
All right, let's get to tier number 2 here for a guy that had a great testing process. And this tight end is in a tier of his own for you.
He was. I felt like, he's not with Dalton Kincaid.
Yep.
This guy's a really awesome, well-rounded, all-around football player. And I thought, okay, he's a better player than 3, 4, and 5. So I didn't think he was in a tier with, Kincaid, but thought he was in a class of himself as compared to the next 3 guys after him.
Maybe more round 2, not that lot. You view this guy more round 2?
I think, it'd be interesting here. I think there's a chance if this falls right, to kind of what you're saying. You might get to the end of the round, and some teams might go, wait, with the Bengals.
Yep.
We got a pretty good football team.
Somebody can come back in, of course,
or that as well. Exactly right. Where I wouldn't be shocked, but I think more than not, I'm with you. That's the early stages of round 2. But I don't think it would be crazy to think this guy maybe goes the last 5, 6 picks of the first round.
So tight end 2.
Tight end 2 is Sam LaPorta, Iowa. And I'm going to say I had no idea who this guy was really at all going into the process, only other than just, a name that I saw on a list somewhere. But just an all-around complete football player who is I think as a route runner, right up there with Dalton Kincaid is his ability to set people up, lean them, come out of breaks. Again, the hip looseness that I'm so into and the ability to come out of some of the intricate breaks is a real thing. It allows a guy to plant and kind of open his hips and go instead of, wait, I got to put my feet in the ground and now I got to make a right turn and start running that way again, right? He was so loose that way. And then, as you would expect from an Iowa tight end, he does everything in the blocking.
Literally everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily like, I'm going to sit here and tell you he's a road grader. Like, he's not Rob Gronkowski at tight end where you go, oh, it's like having an extra tackle on the field. But, man, he does his job every play, and he does high-level NFL run-blocking stuff to where you go, wait, I can see NFL routes, I see NFL run blocking, and then, of course, the physical tools that go along with it to where you go, this damn guy is good, and he's going to be around for a long time in the NFL.
Yeah, I really liked LaPorta. I just think I wrote jack of all trades player, not really a master of any in my eyes.
I hear you.
I mean, there's nothing he's bad at, and he's not a kill shot blocker. But they ask him to block on the move so much, and he always gets there. And he's technically sound. Like, he doesn't get there and just lunge or throw his shoulder down, or it's like square, hands
wide
in the
base,
right,
good punch, feet keep chopping on contact.
100%.
Right.
He tested well. He's somebody that there's a little alligator arms at times.
Yeah.
In 2021, he had a problem with that. This year it was 6 drops. It's just he doesn't have bad hands.
He's not as physical catching the ball as Kincaid or some of the other guys we're going to talk about after this.
Exactly. But, I mean, he's also a tough guy. Like, he had meniscus surgery after the regular season, came back for the bowl game.
Man.
And I know, like, I don't really care when guys skip the bowl game.
Yeah.
But when you do that, I'm like, you're
football
obsessed
player.
with football.
Exactly.
Like, you're obsessed with, and you could see why. I was telling you, I mean, his 2022 snap usage was insane. 27 in the backfield, 338 on the line of scrimmage, 110 in the slot, 82 out wide, and he played on the field goal extra point teams.
Right.
I mean, this is a draft prospect that's going in the first 2 to 3 rounds, and he's out there on field goal and extra point and handling every role of the offense.
No doubt.
I mean, lead blocker from the backfield all the way to out wide. They love getting him involved in the screen game, which I really liked.
I know. He can make people miss and get upfield.
Yes. I wrote, once he got the ball in his hands, there's wiggle after the catch. And I was like, I think there's something about the aesthetic of an Iowa uniform, a tight end playing for Iowa, and when they catch the ball, you're like, oh, he's just going to try to run over everyone.
Right.
And he would make people miss.
No doubt about it. That's a part of it. And that goes in, again, I think, to some of the things you see in the route running, too. You see that looseness and the ability to change directions or lean people or do that. You're exactly right. The only negative, really, with me, with the player is you kind of hit on it. I wish there was a little bit more tough, I'm about to get crushed, I'm going to hit the ball and, catch the ball in traffic. And then I wish there was maybe a little more physicality after the catch, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't break a whole lot of tackles. But, like, he can run, and if you give him a straight lane, watch out because he can rip off a 40 or 50-yard gain. And like you said, he can weave and make people miss in traffic to where if he catches a 10-yard in-cut over the middle, he can kind of like avoid the safety coming down to tackle him and then gets upfield really well to where you go, ooh, he caught the ball 10 yards. He ended up getting 25 for us. There's a lot of that on there. He's a really just all-around good football player, and that's what I like. Those are really the only negatives. I looked at him. Like, I wrote that I think he was a top 40 pick, so, along the lines there, I think it's going to be early second round. And then, I wrote even as in, like, would it shock me if this guy became George Kittle in a few years?
Without that blocking edge, like the highlight blocks, more of the zone blocks.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So he could become that? I'd be like, I don't think that's crazy. He can move and run like him. Right.
The testing, and it's not the testing, it's on tape there. But I mean, you're talking about a 90th percentile 40, like 4.59 speed.
4.59.
That means like he's in the top 90% in terms of tight ends that have tested.
The other one
that
jumped out to me, what's the other number that jumped out to you on his thing there?
The broad jump for me.
The broad jump is really good.
Insane.
I like the 3-cone one.
Yes.
The 6.9 one.
But that's the wiggle and twitch.
That's the wiggle and twitch.
Change of direction.
That's when that's where I go. It's like he can lean people to the right and make it look like he's running an out route to the right, and he puts his foot in the ground and runs an in cut to the left. That's where, yes, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, what about like compared to a Pat Freiermuth last year? To that, right? I think he's a better blocker than Pat Freiermuth.
Yep.
Freiermuth had very good feet, but like it's just a name I wrote down.
Sure.
As far as what I was thinking.
And just middle of the field monsters.
Middle of the field monster.
You can use them in the screen game.
Exactly.
Yeah, you love that they can kick on and off the line of scrimmage.
Definitely.
That has so much value.
He can play second tight end. He can play fullback.
Yep.
You know.
And we live in an NFL world of everyone's in motion.
Exactly
all the time.
right. That's
so,
what I mean.
Like if you're going to be playing tight sets or you're going to have to kick them off for the screens. And when you get those isolated matchups against corners, which I would try to do, you can make them miss when they see a bigger tight end and they try to go low or they hesitate and it'll make you miss.
Right.
So LaPorta was a really fun watch.
I have a hard time thinking this guy he's going to be a riser.
Yeah.
And, I know I have my guys every now and then where I go, okay, I'm different and maybe I see it differently. This is one where I feel like as the process goes on, it's too obvious of how good of a complete football player he is.
Well, that's the thing. He's not bad at anything.
Not bad at anything.
And I feel like coaches, that's kind of the way they gravitate.
And the tight end position, I feel like sometimes it's even more than other positions too. And that's where I think people are going to watch it and go, wait, he's gonna get open all day. He can get open all day against linebackers and safeties. Damn, he can do all this game stuff in the run game. There is no weakness. He's going to understand blocking schemes and NFL football a little bit because of how he's coached at Iowa. And I think that's all going to play, into his favor. And, yeah, somewhere early in that second round, I think Sam LaPorta goes off the board.
I'm with you. I think that's his range. Let's get into Tier 3 because your Tier 3 tight end is my top tight end.
Yeah.
I think he's been kind of all over the place for everybody.
Sure.
I've seen him go first sometimes. I've seen him go third or fourth. You have him right in the middle there at Tier 3. One of the more productive tight ends of the last couple college seasons. I've never seen a player since high school look like a tight end and play like a tight end. This is not somebody that played basketball and converted or played wide receiver and converted.
Old school tight end right here.
Yeah, like 1995, like
Mark
way too big
Bavaro,
shoulder pads.
Right.
Yeah,
this is my dad's era of tight ends.
This is
right
a little bit of a throwback tight end. Who's your Tier 3?
Well, I'm Michael Mayer. And, listen, I know I may be a little low on him. There's some things I really like here. All right. So that's all right. I mean, the guy has got some traits about him that I'm in love with. Got the look, like you said.
Yep.
Has all the physical tools for you to go, well, this guy could be really good for a long time. Like, there's no doubt about that. Right. I think if, I had to start off and we're showing some highlights right here. All right. And I'd like to go back to that if we can restart it, if you don't mind. Right. This would be the first thing that I'll say bothers me. One is not great separation. That would be the big thing. It's just I'm hitting on negatives first. I'm sorry I had to do that. I'm going to hit on the positives in a second.
It's good when you're lower than consensus on a player, though, to show why.
Yes, right. So separation was an issue. He did not separate from coverage nearly at the same rate Kincaid and LaPorta did, right? Now, and there's a lot of these type of catches. Now, the positive is he catches the ball in these scenarios a lot, right? And my thing that I'm a little worried about is I just go, well, in the NFL, there's going to be a little bit better players playing the ball and a better athlete and a bigger guy altogether. But his ability, unlike LaPorta, to catch the ball with people hanging around him and on him and all that is through the roof good. Or right there, about to get his head knocked off.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't
care at all.
So I love that about Michael Mayer. I love that. But I think the separation, and then, listen, there's the potential here, but the blocking is underwhelming for what he is. That's what I think bothered me, too.
It's a lot of effort blocking.
It is. It is.
Yep.
Right. And,
I really gets a little lunge happy. He looks for the big shot. Like he sees somebody that's 30 pounds lighter than him, and he's like, "I'm going to kill this person," and he misses.
He misses.
Yeah,
I get that. Way too much
Yep.
of that. That's what bothered me.
Yep.
And then even this year, I got the sense a little bit on film sometimes. And again, I might be wrong, and I'm just throwing theories out there. Then he was like, "I'm a pass catching tight end. I don't know if I want to mix it up in here that hard." It didn't look the same as it did the year before in some of the will of run blocking, I guess I want to say. Right? But either way, it's there. He's not afraid to be physical. He's not. But, yeah, for, a Notre Dame tight end who's usually, they're very sound blocking, and they always take the right steps, and they always keep their feet going on contact, and they don't fall off blocks. That's where, and then, of course, I was a little bit of a victim of what the whole world was talking about.
True, yeah.
All I kept hearing was Gronk.
Yeah,
Gronk.
That's a little unfair.
And Gronk is like a right tackle at tight end.
Yeah, that is not Mayer.
So he's not that, right? So that, I guess that little led to me, thinking a little less of him. But I did not think he was as good a blocker as LaPorta. I did not think he separated as well. But when you get into the positives of the two things, his ability to catch the ball, like Kincaid, with people around him, extend his arms, doesn't give a shit. And then he also does have the aspect of Kincaid of when he catches the ball, he tries to go to the house. Yeah. I love that about him. Now, I mean, he's not going to go to the house because he's not that fast or whatever.
But he thinks he is.
He thinks he is.
Which is good.
Exactly right. He catches the ball. He's angry. He wants to run over people. And here's the other thing, too, that, again, gives me hope that he shows better change of direction with the ball in his hands than he does as a route runner sometimes.
Yep.
So that makes me think that a coach in the NFL and, focusing on that, he can do that. But damn good player. Just wasn't quite as good as I guess I was expecting, and I think the two in front of him are pretty damn good. So this is not a disrespect to have him there at 3.
It's like some guys become a victim of being labeled things like Baby Gronk, right? Where it's like living up to that. I think Gronkowski's the greatest tight end I've ever seen play football.
Agreed.
And obviously Kelsey's making a significant run at that.
And they're
as
a different
speak.
guy. But I think
exactly.
from the traditional old school point, Gronk is the best I've ever seen too.
So it's kind of tough to live up to that world. What Mayer, to me, that's just mind-blowing is college tight end production. I mean, he's had over 800 yards the last 2 seasons.
I know.
True sophomore, true junior.
Yeah, right.
So a younger prospect, 89 of his catches over the last 2 years, first downs.
Yeah.
Like, if you need a first down, it doesn't matter if a linebacker's hanging on him, a corner is closing.
No, you put it close, he'll go get it.
He got the ball.
He will.
So I really liked just the overall production
I
of him.
love him on seam routes and middle posts.
Yep.
Because he can get upfield and run. And he does have a little bit of can lean and then just put his foot in the ground and go. But now where he's not on the same level as a Kincaid or LaPorta is some of the more advanced routes, right? That was another thing. Like LaPorta and Kincaid can run routes like a receiver.
Mayer's little meathead routes.
Exactly. It's a little lumbering.
Yes.
And he's got big, heavy feet that go in the ground. So if you let me get a route that makes sense here. Like what I would call a return route, all right? And I'll explain it, where it's you fake the shallow cross, but then you come back out, right? You can watch Kincaid and LaPorta do that, and they're like receiver-ish in how good they can do it. Mayer is going to be a little bit of a few steps into the break. Let me regather my big body to come out of the break, and that's where he's not going to be as good. But you get him going down the field, corner route, seam route, middle post where it's straight line, and now he just gives a little lean and twitches into the rest of the route. He's pretty quick and twitchy that way.
Yep.
So it tells me I think there's some more in there. You're going to have to know there's certain routes that he's not going to be great at. And I do think somebody's going to be able to coax more out of him in the run game.
That was my even-built body.
Yeah,
there's not thin legs, big shoulders that he shields defenders with.
Yes, he does.
I'm betting on the coaching staff to turn him into a pretty dang good blocker at the NFL level.
Yeah.
So
the legs are good. Like you said, I didn't love his legs like I did the other two before that, but I liked him. But yeah, I think we kind of hit on it. He's more of a lumbering, old school tight end who loves a little physicalness in the pass game and has a real dangerous threat after the catch to break tackles and make something happen there that I really like. So, yeah, we'll see. You're a little higher on him.
Yeah, I like the floor.
And, yeah, I understand that.
My tight end 2
that.
and 3, Washington and Kincaid, the ceiling is not even close compared to Mayer, but I bet on the floor.
Yeah,
which you pick your spots in each draft. There's guys in this draft that I have way too high that are betting on the ceiling.
Yeah.
At some point, you need to take a floor guy.
Yeah.
And I think this guy's going to be comfortably a top tight end in the NFL pretty quickly.
Yeah, okay, I hear you there. Well, he got the great advantage of the Iowa. Notre Dame guys are usually pretty well coached up at the tight end position.
To do a lot.
They've asked to do a lot.
He played all those spots.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So all of that is really good. I am a hair less confident about the blocking than you, and the separation of the route running scares me just a little bit more than it does you. right? So that's the only aspect, and that's ultimately why I left him 3. But, damn, I just want to make sure we all know I really like this kid.
It's a great class.
Great class.
Like, when you're the tight end 3 in a great class,
exactly
that's not disrespect.
Right. Exactly right.
I want to get to tight end 4.
Yeah.
Because this is my, like, shock factor, right? I looked at all the other ones, and I'm like, there's a conversation that, like, yep, like Kincaid, I totally get it. Obviously, LaPorta, I totally get it. Tight end 4 is my biggest surprise that when I saw our rundown this morning, I'm like, I'm going to go back and watch his tight end 4 again. Because this is another guy I thought would have declared last year. So I've watched him.
Right.
And then he didn't.
Right.
He went back this year. And his stock's just been kind of cool. There's never been.
I could see that.
So I'm really excited to hear you talk about your tight end 4.
Yeah,
in this class.
Josh Whyle. I think I'm saying it right.
Wiley. Yep.
Wiley from Cincinnati. Yes. You know, first off, like, love his body.
Skyscraper.
Right? Skyscraper.
Yeah.
Long, high-cut waist, right? And, you know, legs that I like. They're not as thick as Mayer or Kincaid, but this guy looks like, if you just turn on the film right away, you go, oh, my gosh, is that a big receiver in the slot? That's kind of what he looks like at first. And then, you know, you see a closer angle or the end zone shot, and you go, oh, no, this is a big guy. Holy crap, right? But it's more of a speed-looking leg than a power-looking leg, if that can explain it the right way, right?
Yeah.
And his route running is off the charts good. He plays faster than his 40 time in the combine, in my opinion. He ran a 4.69, and, you know, I was sitting there going, damn, what did he run? He must have ran a 4.5 something. The way he gets off the ball, the way he runs by safeties and linebackers, I just went, man, it's so easy.
The track starts harder for guys like this.
It definitely is.
I think it's very different than playing
bigger
tight end.
and longer.
Yes,
yeah, right.
Yes,
right.
the stance is totally different.
Totally different.
It's something that a lot of them have never done in their life before. Like, you look at half the running backs and wide receivers, they were sprinters in high school.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
So a lot of tight ends
it's a
shot
new
put
element
in
to
discus.
them.
Yes.
Agreed. And you're right. And you got to take that into account. The route running, I thought, was off the charts good. I mean, right up there with LaPorta and Kincaid, and he can do anything. In fact, I don't know if there's some routes I like when you split them out where I go, oh, actually, I think he's maybe the best of all, of like running a comeback route or whatever like that. You go, that's like receiver-ish the way he does that. You know, he got good hands. He can go up and get the ball. I wish there was a little bit more, again, of the, wait, people are hanging on me or I'm going to get crushed element and catch the ball.
Yeah,
that would be
too.
a negative there, right? But then I see a guy like this and I go, well, all right, he's a good pass-catching tight end that's going to be good. Dude can block. Again, it's not like knock your head off blocking. It's what I call assignment blocking, right? You know, he's not soft, but he's not going to ever knock anybody like back 5 yards or knock their head off. But his guy never makes the tackle. I mean, for the most part. I mean, I know he did sometimes, but for the most part, he never does. And he does a lot of the things, you know, we talked about again. He's always in good position. The feet are moving. It's a wide base. So
he's played a lot of college football.
A lot of college football. You could tell. You
with
could see
Desmond
it.
Ritter 2 years ago, too. So, like,
well, he was the one where we get into, like, you talk about college offenses not knowing as a tight end or a quarterback. He would be one where I was saying before the show where I go, he's open. He's open.
Yep.
Why are we throwing it over here? The big guy's running down the middle for a touchdown. Why are they not throwing it to him? So his production is not going to look the way everybody likes it, but I think the player is real.
I'm excited for that one.
So are you up there? So you were up with him high during the season. You fell off during the season?
When he played with Ritter, I was like, I see it.
Yeah.
And when we get to the draft, and then he didn't declare, I was like, I'm excited to watch him. And then this year, but to be fair, when I watched Tyler Scott, their wide receiver, I was like, man, the passing in this offense
it's going to dive.
It's taking a big step down, and that's things you have to factor in with guys cooling off.
Yeah.
So the long leg build for me is where I question the inline blocking at the NFL.
I hear you.
I wouldn't want to see. I would project him more as that tight end 2. You don't have to live on the line of scrimmage. We're going to play you off the line of scrimmage. We'll run some tight bunch sets where you're standing up. He does move well, which helps a lot because you're factoring in getting out in screens.
Exactly right. He's very good in space.
Yes,
he's
very
great
good in
at
space.
second level, outside blocking in the wide receiver screens or all that. Zone blocking like you were talking about. You know, he's really good in that department. That was very impressive.
And to be fair, he's another guy that's probably a victim of a great class. Like, you look at these guys, and there's not really a lot of guys in the top 15 that I watch. I'm like, I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
It's that I love the other guys.
Exactly. Right.
And we'll get into a lot of them with your honorable mentions. But
who'd you remind you of? Like, I had a hard time.
It's a weird body to comp.
Right. It's like it's Gesicki in a way, but I go, he's got more muscle and he's more of a blocker than Gesicki was.
That's the tough part, is a lot of those guys that are built like that.
Tyler Eifert, I thought of a while ago.
I have an Eifert comp somewhere in here.
Yeah.
We'll get, it's in your honorable mention,
Okay.
so I'll save that one.
Okay.
You know, another long athlete that I always draw back to, and this is a long time ago, but Jordan Cameron, remember him?
Sure.
Like a guy that tested off the charts,
Right.
and Wiley didn't test like him, but you look at a longer athlete that has the catch radius, and he probably would have been a really good tight end for a long time if he didn't have all those concussions.
Yeah, right.
And he was good for like 3 years instead.
Yep.
It's a tough position to find comps of the modern athlete.
Exactly. That's. Thank you for saying that.
It's
because you go.
they don't exist.
These guys didn't exist.
They didn't exist
20 years in the NFL.
No.
15 years ago.
They'd be asked to play left tackle.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
You're exactly
Or
right.
try.
Or lose some weight and become a receiver and like do
Yes.
that, right? You're exactly right. That's where it is funny. And I found myself doing that and kept coming up with comparisons. And I'm like, damn, all I do
It's
is
so
guys
hard.
from the last 7 or 8 years for these guys. I can't ever think of anybody different that way. But yeah, again, I think we're seeing it the same way there. You know, yak department, you know, I will say this. He turns up field quick. You know, just like the other guys we've talked about, there's no nonsense there. He's got good feet and wiggle to like weave through traffic. And because he's got good feet and wiggle, he breaks some arm tackles because of that. But he's not going to run you over.
No,
or
he's not
lower
trying to
a
lower the shoulder. No, that's
he's going
not
to try
him.
to do it with his athleticism and just kind of run and weave and slash through that way. But still, the big thing for me in that department is just, you know, the point I keep talking about, catching the ball, getting upfield. You know, that's a big. They'll all learn. That's going to be preached to them constantly in the NFL. You know, hey, it's 2nd and 15. You catch a ball at 10. Damn, you can make it. You know, 3rd and 1 for us.
You
as
fall
long as you
3
no
yards.
nonsense. Yeah. As long as you get upfield right away and be aggressive, you're right. You're going to fall almost 2 and 3 yards there.
I think the most underrated skill, and it's something you keep touching on with all your top guys, is the transition from catching to running for a tight end, because they're so long. They kind of are. They're typically more awkward players at that, and these guys, it's not the case. They catch the ball and transition to runner in one motion. I noticed Kincaid do that.
Yes.
I saw Mayer do it a couple of times. I've seen Wiley do it.
Exactly. It's
LaPorta does it really well.
It's top receiver stuff.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
It's like if you watch Deebo Samuel or A.J. Brown or those kind of guys where, they catch a ball over the middle and they snatch it out of the air. So I don't lose a step. I don't lose any momentum going upfield.
The ball's not coming into the body, and then their whole upper
Exactly
body's off
right.
at their base.
Exactly right. Then you're paused for a second because you're like, wait, I got to hold this and you lock up your upper body because of that. These guys catch it and seamlessly pull it in to where it's like they don't even break stride.
Yep.
And that is a very underrated skill in the NFL.
All right, so I think it's time to get to maybe the most unique player in the draft.
Right.
I would say it's up there.
Yeah.
The most unique tight end we've had in terms of build, style, everything about him, essentially. Tight end 5 for you, Sims, is
the biggest damn dude you'll ever see a tight end, or at least he looks like that on film. And
I interviewed him at the Combine. Imagine what I look like next to him.
Darnell Washington from Georgia. Yeah. If there's a guy in this draft, because, like, again, we talked about, our man from Notre Dame is being, that Gronk comparison that's not fair, and Michael Mayer. If there's going to be a Gronk in this class, it's going to be this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you got to put it together a little bit and all of that. But first off, he's a monster. I mean, a monster. Second off, he's an insane blocker. Not just a good blocker.
No, it's insane.
This is when you want to compare a blocker to Gronk. Now we got a guy. This is a guy that we can go, and he's at the end of the line of scrimmage. He is like having another tackle in the football game.
Totally agree.
All right? And on that, it's not just like, it's like power. It's like he kind of likes smashing people. And if you're smaller, he really likes to let you know you're smaller. And then, the things we talked about with some of the other guys, the space blocking.
Because the athlete he is.
He is a very good athlete. They run a ton of screens and stuff where he's out on the edge, and you go, damn, look at this guy adjust to this little guy, and he gets his body on him, and the guy never makes the tackle. So, you go from there right off the bat, and you go, that is elite. His run blocking is off the charts good, and he could be a guy that could literally in the first year of the NFL, we can go, he's the best blocking tight end in the league right now. So that's where it starts. And then you get into the athlete like you're talking about, and you go, whoa, this guy's got better feet than I thought here. Whoa, he can really run.
Straight line is blazing.
Is blazing.
Yeah.
And, the route running's not perfect and can be sloppy and lumbering a little bit, but it's not that bad. I don't look at it and go, oh, man, this guy's never got a chance. No, between the way he runs and does some of that stuff, I go, he's gonna be fine. You know, he is. He just was in an offense that doesn't know how to utilize him. You don't get to see a ton of routes or things like that. And I will say I wonder about him getting too big. I'll say that's honestly a negative.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like the type of guy that has like one bad offseason and he can be 285.
He's your new right tackle.
He's never going to separate from anybody. But yeah, this guy's got an incredibly high ceiling, and I don't think the floor is that low.
I completely agree.
Because
the blocking.
The blocking, exactly right. So, yeah, I had to put him in the top 5. It's a great class, and there's some things that we can certainly dissect here. But those measurables, that size, I think is going to translate to the NFL in a big way.
How about this one for you, Chris? Faster Mercedes Lewis.
Agreed.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's what I saw.
Yeah.
And so when I got to talk to him, I'd already had that in my head as a comp I was trying to land on. He brought up Mercedes Lewis right away, and I was like, oh, this is a guy that knows who he is.
Yes.
Obsessed with blocking.
Right.
I mean, sure, he probably, and you see the mock draftable measurables here. That's when the circle's that big. This is an alien. I mean, this is an alien. 4'6" at 264 and 6'6.5". I mean, he did everything besides the cone. A lot of guys don't do agilities at the combine anymore. You see the arm length. This 90th percentile galore. The wingspan. I kind of want to get into
408 20-yard shuttle.
It's just absurd.
That tells you that he can change direction like that, right? You like that's where I know you don't get to see a ton of route running, but this is where you go. I piece things together and go, whoa! When he got the ball in his hands, he can stick his foot in the ground and make people miss all the time. Like he makes people miss. Which is like
and you
shocking.
have to go low on him.
And you have to go low on him.
And he did hurdle someone this year.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw a few hurdles on film, actually.
He knows that guys have to go low on him, and he's an athlete that could jump through the roof and jump over them.
Now, one of the things I'll say, too, that I worry about is that there's a lot of land area to hit.
Oh, yeah. Big strikes.
I don't know. In the middle of the year, I was watching, what was it, the Missouri game? The Auburn game? He definitely looked like he was lumbering on his right leg a little bit. Yeah. Those are things I do. Like, hey, with Gronk, like you saw, when you're that big and that long, there's just a lot to hit. There's a reason Gronk has got 75 plates in his body everywhere and 70,000 scars because it's knees, it's ankles, it's shoulders. There's a lot of things for people to chop at there, but damn.
And it's that second hit that comes in. Like when he's wrapped but still running, then the second defender comes and hits you low, or the third defender comes and hits you.
Someone's hanging on you.
That's kind of
the
issue. So we had a really good question. Another one from JScan11 who said, is Darnell Washington one of those prospects where college production doesn't tell the whole story? He played next to fellow tight end Brock Bowers for multiple seasons, and Georgia is mostly centered around defense and the run. Do you see him being a dominant starter in the NFL?
I do.
Yeah,
I
me
do.
too.
And I definitely think, college football hurt them. I mean, they're awesome. They got lots of people to give the ball to, and they got a quarterback he's not a tight end throwing quarterback.
No.
Stetson Bennett, one of my issues with him is, damn, he misses the mark on wide open people too much, let alone is he going to throw balls to a covered tight end like this guy should get at times? Or you go, ooh, he's got him by a foot. There was a lot of plays where I looked at it and I was like, man, if I was the quarterback, I'd have ripped it in there to him right here. All right. So, I see a guy here that is made for the NFL and definitely was not utilized to his true capacities. And, was on a team with a guy that looks like he's going to be a first-round tight end next year in 19, whatever the hell his name is. I can't remember.
But Brock Bowers. He's going to be a top 10 pick next year.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
But, again, like Michael Mayer, the intricate routes are not going to be part of his game. You don't want him double moving, but seams, middle post, shallow cross, like, forget about it. And even when he's covered, he's not covered. So that's the thing you love. And then, the 50-50 and the adjusting to the back shoulders, I mean, he does it seamlessly. And like
Very
you talk
natural.
about with Mayer, like we talked about that, he don't give a shit about people around him either.
No.
Like Kincaid. Kincaid's the same way. I mean, there's some plays you watch. I mean, people try to take his head off. It's just like, good luck. You're going to hurt yourself trying to take your head off. Right. So, I look at him. I wrote 40 to 60. I think he goes somewhere in 40 to 60 range.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's even earlier.
That. I wouldn't be shocked either. I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked. Just because we talk about the floor with someone like that. And I'm just obsessed with how he can transition to being a red zone player at the NFL level. Like in Georgia, didn't use him a ton as a receiver. when you get in those packages where you can move him on or off the line of scrimmage,
right,
but you can also run behind him.
Yeah, right.
Or imagine running that McDaniel tight end sneak with him.
Gosh, yeah, right.
Like,
good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.
There's just so much you could do with him in the red zone. And in between the 20s, I mean, he's your best blocker that's not a lineman, and he'll block better than some linemen because of the way he moves.
Agreed.
It's insane.
It is insane.
It's a unique weapon. You need to make sure your offense is equipped to utilize
that,
maximize that play.
Right.
Like, you don't just throw him in any offense and say, like, oh, he's the best tight end in football. It's like, no, you need to maximize.
No, he's old school. You got to know how to old school with a new school flair to him, right? That's where I do. I look at guys like Sean Payton, and I'd go, ooh, that would be that kind of guy.
Obsessed with the blocking tight end.
Right. And, Jimmy Graham was a huge human being. Obviously a little bit better athlete than this Darnell Washington. But, there's a belief there. Again, I think people in for my world, the Parcells, the Belichick, Sean Payton, of course, is a part of that tree there. They're going to like a guy like this.
Yeah, the versatility is just everything they love.
Exactly
they probably like to keep him on the field as much as you can rather than have to sub off for every different situation. We had one team-centric question from Ant.
Yeah.
Is Darnell Washington the closest thing to Gronk that we'll see, and will he make it to my Raiders at 38? I think he's the perfect fit in our offense. That will be heavy run with Josh Jacobs and maybe solve our decade-long red zone issues.
Yeah, I mean, I would say yes and yes.
You brought up Patriots.
Right.
I mean, the coach of the Raiders.
That's what I mean.
Like,
right.
We've seen this before.
I would think the Raiders are going to be looking for a tight end. They're not desperate to get one in the first round, but it's a value to their offense. And it's, again, it's the Belichick, the Parcells, the school of coaching there where they know how to use them. They know how to call and design plays to use the tight end too. What was the beauty of McDaniels with Gronk in New England? He screwed you over. He high-loaded you with Edelman and Gronk, and you could have to make a decision. Wait, do we want to back up and stop Gronk going down the middle, or do we want to get up and stop Edelman over the middle, shorter underneath? So he'll know how to play these guys off of it, let alone we know he wants to run the ball and all that too. And yes, I am like, if there's going to be a Gronk in this class, this is going to be it. It's not perfect. And, he is a little bit of a lumberer and all of that. But, man, I like more than the questions I have, that's for sure. In fact, like as I'm sitting here talking about him in some ways, I'm starting to go, man, maybe I should have put him higher.
Yeah.
It's one of those. He's extremely intriguing. He's a true traits guy, as you like to say.
Traits galore.
Yes, he is. Traits galore.
I had him in tier 1 as tight end 2. I'm just banking on all of that hitting. All of that hitting. And I think there is a key perspective that one of the listeners said, like, Brock Bowers is the best tight end in the country, and this guy had to play in the same offense with him and still did enough on tape to be looked at as a top 40 selection.
Right. Yeah, we all have to get all over that aspect. There can be two awesome NFL players on the same college team.
Look at the Texas running backs, and when I was listening to you having Roshan.
Right.
Like when you watch in a vacuum their reps, it's right there.
Yeah,
like it's
you go, I
top
don't know,
60 player.
I don't care what team you're pulling the other running back. He don't look like this guy, and when you just watch them together.
It's not his fault.
Exactly.
Like when they commit to the school, they're not like,
It's not Justin Jefferson's fault he was on the same team as Jamar Chase.
Right. That's another great one.
It's the way it works. So yeah, it's college football. Hey, when I was at Texas, we had 2 first-round D tackles and more than 2 first-round corners, and it's the way it works at some of these schools. So yeah, don't let that be a negative as far as oh gosh, he was the backup tight end. Well, the guy in front of him is the real deal.
For Darnell, I feel like the ceiling starts at 15 with the Packers.
Yeah.
And then probably goes right around to the area, the Raiders at 38. I would think that's kind of the point.
You might be right.
It's just hard to replicate that player, I think. That's what it comes down to. Is where else are we going to get this kind of guy? And a team in that 15 to 38 window will be like, okay, we're okay with this.
I know. I'm going to be interested to see where he goes. Yeah, I got him a little lower than that, but I don't think you're crazy to have those thoughts. And as we know, and we talk about all the time, the first round is a traits round to where you take – it's probably why we've seen some busts like we talked about.
Sure, it happens.
You take a chance on guys like this because you go, wait, if everything goes right, we're talking about a Hall of Famer, and you live with the negative. So we'll see. But, yeah, he was definitely one of the more intriguing guys I saw. 264, 464, 157 split, 408 shuttle at 6'7". That's insanity in the membranity, and I'm excited to watch him in the NFL.
All right. So let's recap your tight end rankings for the 2023 class before we get to some honorable mentions here. And there it is. Number 1 was Dalton Kincaid. Number 2 was Sam LaPorta. Number 3 was Michael Mayer. Obviously, you had the first 2 guys in their own tiers. Kincaid's tier 1, LaPorta's tier 2. In tier 3, you have grouped together Mayer, Josh Whyle from Cincinnati, and then Darnell Washington rocking the 0, which you can now do at the NFL level.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't have to change.
It's a perfect number for him.
Oh, it really is.
It's all or nothing. He either needs to wear like 0 or 89.
Well, it's so funny you said that. I was going to say 88.
Yeah, 88's a good one,
because
too.
he'll look gigantic in 88.
That
People
is the
will
trick
be like,
to it.
oh, my gosh, who is that on the field?
Yeah,
right?
he gets out for warm-ups, and you're like, we're good today.
Yeah, like what does he want to do? Does he want to like fool us and make us think he's a better athlete than he is and wear 0? Or do you want to just scare everybody and go, I'm the biggest tight end you've ever seen in your life?
I like the idea of 88, but obviously fun tight end rankings, and it doesn't stop because, as you and I have consistently harped on, this was hard to make a top 5 tight ends, like very frustrating. And I was glad that we both kind of saw eye to eye on your first honorable mention, in a sense, a Robin Hood tight end. This player from Penn State, really no buzz. Not a ton of production, which is not his fault.
That's the problem.
Everybody looks at the production.
Exactly.
And you need to look at the usage.
Yes.
And here's the entire list if you're watching right now. We're going to go into Brenton Strange from Penn State in just a second. Luke Musgrave from Oregon State. He's had a lot of buzz this year despite only playing 2 games.
Yep.
Luke Schoonmaker from Michigan, an interesting player. Tucker Kraft, who I really, really like. I think he's tight end 5 for me from South Dakota State. And then Elijah Higgins, who I evaled probably incorrectly as a wide receiver. That's what he played in college. I'm with you, Sims. He's going to have to play tight end at the next level. But let's start with Brenton Strange.
Yeah.
Who almost made your top 5 tight ends.
It hurt me not to have him on. It really did. You know, I didn't there was a part of me that thought, man, maybe I'll make him instead of Josh Whyle, or maybe I'll, kick Darnell Washington off of this list. But, like, first, I think the whole thing does start with the production thing again. That's where it's like, hey, with tight ends especially, and I know if anybody's listening to the podcast, you've heard me say I've made mistakes by watching cut-ups. Tight ends, you got to watch games because you get to see, again, if you have an offense or a quarterback who doesn't throw to the tight ends, you're not going to see enough. You got to see and go, oh, wait, whoa, okay. Yeah, he only had 1 catch in this game, but damn, he was open, 15 times. And he ran some great routes, right? And that's where, I really like the guy. 1, physical, blocks.
Very.
I mean, loves to throw his body around. I mean, he brings it. So he's got and he likes it. It's one of those where you can watch a game and go, this guy likes dominating people and he likes letting them know it. So I love that about him, right? And then, like, gets off the ball in a hurry, can accelerate in the pass game. Very good at good feet. Again, can adjust at the second level as a route runner, adjust at the second level in the run game and making blocks there. I talked about not afraid to mix it up, has the attitude, and as a route runner and a ball carrier, you don't get to see a ton of routes, but here's one where as the ball carrier, you piece it together and go, well, I think he's going to be able to stick his foot in the ground and make a left-hand turn pretty damn good, because when he gets the ball in his hands, he's damn good. I mean,
he's a train rolling down the tracks.
He's a train, and he doesn't look like a train.
No, it's surprising power.
It is, and you even look at him on film, and I had to look over the measurables and go, oh, wait, he is 253. Shit, he doesn't look 253.
In that uniform, I would have guessed 235.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say it's like 242, like one of those kind of. You're exactly right. But Penn State, the uniform, it always makes guys look smaller. You're exactly right. But again, like. Maybe the hips aren't as good as Kincaid and some of the top guys.
I didn't think he had the catch radius as the top guys.
I don't think he does either. Exactly right. I don't think he's
31 and 1/8 arms, and he kind of doesn't play with big catch radius.
No, big size and people hanging all over him. He's going to be more of a separation guy. He's not going to be 3 guys hanging on him and I'll catch it and whatever else. Now, if he does have to catch it over the middle and get hit, from everything I saw on film, he certainly looks like he's tough enough, and he's going to say, okay, so what? Hit me, right? I thought his numbers were low. Like, the film indicated a better athlete than his combine numbers showed to me, really. I mean, the thing that you come away with more than anything is just you don't get to see the opportunities, and even if he doesn't get the ball, you don't get to see a variety of routes. So that's where you just go, that's where teams I think are going to have to feel comfortable with the skill set because you're not going to necessarily see it on film, on a play-by-play basis.
It was all underneath, really that H-back kind of pass-catching role. Like, can we slice you across the formation and just dump it off to
Shallow
you?
cross, behind the line of scrimmage, bootleg.
Catch and run touches.
Exactly right.
That's pretty much what it was. But I'm with you that the blocking, I mean, he had one block against Auburn where he just absolutely destroyed somebody on the end and opened up a huge rushing lane. It looked like a George Kittle block, like a highlight reel block.
Yeah, well, the Auburn game was a game that I watched just because, again, they got the guy on the edge that's really good, 29. Right, so I wanted to see, all right, let me see him block against some guys that I know are high-value NFL football players, and there's no problem there.
No.
Yeah, he's going to be fine in that department, and, I think we're both in agreement. He gets into the offense and knows how to use a tight end. This is a guy that's going to be able to get open a lot against linebackers and safeties.
I thought the usage and player type was very Tommy Tremble.
Yeah.
Who's on the Panthers now.
Right.
And probably there's probably a little bit more for this guy. I think the adjustment for Tremble's been kind of up and down.
Right.
But I thought the usage, if you're looking for that kind of player.
Agreed.
Like, we're going to move him all around. He's going to play in the backfield.
He can do slot, fullback, H-back, whatever. I think he's got a little more traditional tight end value than Tremble.
Yeah, I would agree.
But as a whole, I agree with where you're at there on your theory for sure.
So the next one's interesting in Luke Musgrave because Musgrave is a big-bodied, straight-line runner, huge strides. He's been timed at the Senior Bowl as top GPS. We know he can run. He only played 2 games this year. He missed a lot of the season. There's really no production there for him.
No.
And as we've talked about, Sims, he's kind of a one-dimensional player.
He is.
But the one dimension can help in the modern offense today.
I'm going to put him in there just because of that.
Yep.
There's some things that concern me. But damn, he's big, he's long, and he can really run. And, I think there might be more here with, feet and being able to become a little bit better of a route runner. All right, I will say that. But, the thing that bothers you is that it is lack of playing time, it's injuries, and it's a physicality question that I have, whether that's blocking or after the catch.
I'm with you on
or
that.
any of that.
In a conference where that can't be a question, by the way.
Exactly.
Like, in the SEC, you're getting bullied around a little bit. It's like, well, it's a lot of NFL players.
I got you. Right.
Yep.
Right. So that is the reason he's not in the top 10, right? He's got good hands, right? He adjusts to the ball well and all that, but yeah, I just thought there was a grittiness and a physicality about the player that did not exist. And yeah, he might be able to run by you, but as we're talking about with a lot of these guys, it's tight end's not about running by you. It's about you're going to catch the ball with people around you and in tight quarters and all that, and how do you live in that life? And that's where I certainly have some questions about him in there.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of Greg Dulcich vibes for me. He went to Denver early last year.
I hear you.
I thought Dulcich had a little bit more flair after the catch, than this guy.
Agreed.
But, maybe it's the long hair. I don't know what it was at Dulcich.
Dulcich ran like his hair was on fire.
Yeah, and this guy didn't have that. But before
not.
the catch, I saw a similar play. You want him to be a big slot.
Right.
You want him to run the seam. The classic, he's going to be faster than the linebacker. He's going to be bigger than the safety. But at the NFL level, you definitely got to flip that switch and be ready. Be ready for it in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he is. This is our Mike Gesicki guy, where you just go, the blocking's not good.
Yeah, I'm not even going to ask for it.
You're getting him because he's going to be a pass game what do I want to say, mismatch, and that's more of what he is. But I don't know. I could see somebody falling in love with this kid and him being drafted in the middle of their late second round.
I think he's going top 50-ish.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be for us,
right.
But I think there's a team out there that would do it.
Right.
We did have one question on him from Tony Rengini, who said, why next question. I want to lead with the next guy on this one. We're going to get into Luke Schoonmaker.
Cool.
Tony had a question about Luke Schoonmaker that I really liked. Why isn't Luke Schoonmaker getting more love? He is one of the best blockers in the draft and has some untapped potential as a pass catcher. Immediate tight end, too, with upside to be a long-term starter. Reminds me a lot of Daniel Bellinger.
I hear you there.
That's an interesting comp. I liked Bellinger last year.
He's one of the safer bets for sure, and Schoonmaker, right? He's got a good blend of everything, right? First off, he was down the line for me as far as I just watched guys in alphabetical order, and I literally started out with like, holy shit, how many good-looking tight ends are in this fucking draft? That's where I started because I was like, holy shit, it's like 12 in a row here that I was at this point. Very good body, got a good blend of length and muscle and everything that way, so you feel comfortable there. Long legs, like we talked about. He's high cut. He's a Michigan tight end. He's been coached in the running game. Yeah. He blocks.
Battle tested.
He is battle tested
sure.
that way, right? And he can legit block. He's got good power and aggression at the point of attack. He stays on blocks. He has a good upper body power, like in stalemates, to kind of win the wrestling match and get his guy down or control him there, right? So all of that I like. Now, he's fluid in the pass game and runs well. But I wasn't blown away with him in the pass game.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I think that's kind of where I was, right? He runs easy. He's a good athlete. He's a pretty good route runner with good hips. Plants his foot in the ground at a pretty high level. But like opportunities in the pass game, sure, right? Separation in the pass game's good, but I wasn't like, oh, wow, this is like special. And then I think the thing that really made me not put him in the top 5 or that kind. It's just after the catch.
Nothing.
There's nothing.
No, I literally wrote
for
down,
a guy that
nothing.
Athletic and like physical. You're like, where does it go when you catch the ball?
Doesn't break any tackles.
Doesn't break any tackles. Doesn't really try to make anybody miss. Looks kind of content of like, I caught it. All right, this guy's coming to tackle me, and I go down now. Right? And that's really what bothered me, I think, more than anything. So that hopefully answers the question. There's a lot to like, and maybe that aspect of his game can be brought out of him, but you don't see it right now, and that was kind of the thing that concerned me.
Something fascinating with him.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of this. On receiving plays that looked like they were designed to him, he gets in his stance and he rolls his fingers.
Ooh.
I never caught that with a prospect before.
So people are saying that's a tell with him.
For me, I thought it was a tell.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen a lot of people bring it up, but I would go back and look at all of his targets and try to find the ones that are like, okay, this is a designed catch and run play to you.
Right.
He'd sit and he'd roll his fingers.
Holy shit. Well, yeah, they'll catch that in the NFL
and
for
no
sure.
one in college did.
Jeez.
And I couldn't believe it. I was
unbelievable.
like, just cheat to him.
Yeah.
Like, exactly what he's doing. It was great. It was really great. I think
you should have put that out there on Twitter for the Ohio State game.
I
could have
felt bad
sold
for the
some
kid.
rights to that.
Yeah.
Maybe you could have been like, "How go to the highest bidder? I have a tell on Michigan's offense."
Just email Ohio State's athletic department and be like, "Listen, I have found something that will change the game."
But he's a good player, right? We both agree with that.
Really good player, yeah.
There's a high floor like we're talking about. I don't know how high the ceiling is. He's a safe bet, right? But he has the things that bothered us. I think we're talking about. It's the lack thereof. He gets upfield, but it goes down right away on contact. And there's not a lot of contested catches, physicality receiving that way either.
He's not a very creative player.
Yeah.
It's like the coaches tell him to do something, and he's like, I got you.
Yeah, right.
And, let's not try to get more meat off the bone
here,
which is fine. That's the tight end position as a whole.
There's no doubt about it.
All right. The next one here, Tucker Kraft from South Dakota State. Somebody that I really, really liked, a small school player. I think missing time this year probably really hurt Tucker Kraft because when you are that South Dakota State kind of player, you kind of need all the reps you can get. So he was someone that was more productive in 2021 than 2022. Sims, this was the guy that I saw a little Tyler Eifert in. And it's a big projection because Eifert obviously was a Notre Dame player, a big-time draft pick. Kraft has played against lower-level competition, but I did see some of that two-way in-line and receiving skills with Kraft.
Agreed. That's what I saw.
And I liked him after the catch.
Yes, exactly right, right? After the catch, he's got a little something to him there. He's a very good athlete. He really is. I honestly thought maybe he played faster than even his 40 time showed in the 4.69, right? Hips, right? Real, can weave through traffic. The yak ability I was very comfortable with. The thing you bother you is, the competition. You just go, wait, he's running through these arm tackles or he's running around this guy here. But, who is this guy? Is this guy run 4.7 and playing safety in, this league or whatever?
That's the toughest part.
Right. It's the toughest part. The blocking and the run game is solid. I wanted more. I'm not going to lie because of the competition again where I'm going, come on, dominate these guys. But it wasn't a concern.
Beat Dallas Goedert.
Right. Exactly right.
That's what he's going to live with because of the South Dakota State thing.
Exactly right. I could see that for sure. Leans on people, doesn't deliver the blow or finish the blocks at time. I think that's what. Just wish he had a little bit more physicality as a blocker or a ball carrier. But the raw traits are there. They are. And, again, so this is another guy here where I could He's one of those guys where I think it's going to be 3rd, maybe 4th round.
Yeah, I
don't know. Maybe it's a little earlier than that if
I'd
a run starts happening at tight end. Yeah.
You're right, though. The runs dictate the draft.
The runs will dictate this position, I think, especially because teams will start to panic to go, oh, no, we're getting down to the last 3 really good pass-catching tight ends we had on the board or whatever. Yeah, I think this is a guy, again, like where you wouldn't be shocked if it was 3-4 years from now and you went, hey, that Tucker Kraft kid he's one of the 5 best tight ends in football. Like, yeah, this is what we're talking about in this class. There's guys like this where you go, I see a ceiling that's pretty high for this guy. I don't know if he can get there. There's some questions I have, but it's there to be had, and let's see what he does with it. I guess that would be my assessment of Tucker Kraft.
Right, and guys like this, there's always 2 ways of looking at it. Like we started off with smaller school, lower-level competition, want to see him dominate, but then their supporting cast is a lot weaker. So it's a weird balance of what throws were left on the table that an NFL quarterback makes every time for a big-body target.
That's very true.
It's a fine balance. So this next one I loved when I saw on the list because I evaluated him originally as a wide receiver, and I like that you have made the move to tight end because this is where he has to live at the NFL level, in my opinion. And Elijah Higgins from Stanford.
Yeah, Elijah Higgins was like – so there was like a handful of guys, like even a few guys at like corner safety. I did the same thing where, I saw lists and I was like, wait, some people got him as a safety or a corner. Some people got this guy as a receiver and a tight end.
It's the old tackle and guard problem.
Exactly
all
right.
the time.
So all of that. So what I texted a few friends is what I usually do in this situation. I just go, how do you guys evaluate?
Yeah, it's the best way to do it.
And I just go, I get however I get my answer off of that. I go, okay, I'm going to go with that. And in this case, I put out a few texts with Elijah Higgins, heard back, hey, we're evaluating him as a tight end more than anything, and that's what I went with, right? And, man, I mean, tight end, big, freaky receiver-ish, whatever you want to say here, okay? I'm trying to flip through. There we go. I finally got the damn page here. Great body, like great legs, rocked up. Like, body-wise, I thought he looked like almost Evan Ingram-ish.
Yep, okay.
Right?
That makes a ton of sense.
Right? Now, he's not as fast or move as good as Evan Ingram. I mean, Evan Ingram, if I remember correctly, ran 4.4 flat, I think, right?
It's like one of the best tight end times of all time.
Right,
yep.
Right. It was sick. But this guy is freaking athletic, let me just tell you.
Yep.
And for 6'3", 235, and he lines up as a slot receiver more times than not. He's doesn't have the greatest hips and route running, but his straightaway explosion acceleration is real. And then when you couple it with that size and strength there, you just go, okay, well, this guy is going to be able to work the middle of the field, and linebackers and safeties are no way are they going to be able to cover this guy. You're going to have to make a decision here. And then he's not soft after that.
No, he's a tough
blocks.
guy. Yeah,
he is a tough guy.
Yeah.
And to a guy where, again, I think like, smaller version, maybe faster than our Penn State guy, but you can move them all around, the H-back, the second tight end. Oh, wait, hey, we got 2 receivers on the field, and we need a big presence in the slot. Let's use this guy.
Like Alan Lazard's role was a little bit.
You can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like bump him in close to the line of scrimmage.
Quincy Enunwa was the name in my brain that came up a lot when I was watching him, right? The guy out of Nebraska who played tight end and went to the Jets, or he played slot receiver at Nebraska. Am I getting that right?
No, he was a bigger wide receiver.
Who there was like a tight end flex position.
Sure.
And I think that's what he is, when you get into it. The route running, like I said, it's good, not great, but it has potential to get better, I thought. He knows how to attack leverage on guys. That's the one thing I really liked about him. But good feet, has shown the ability to stick the foot in the ground and make pretty sharp cuts. His acceleration as a route runner and off the line of scrimmage is really good, I wrote. Seams, cover 2 beaters, whatever. He always runs by the guy trying to cover him up the seam. What did I say? Run by the slots. That's what I'm talking about. So one-on-ones, just to get off there. He's big, he's strong. He has no problem getting off that way. And the yak, is good. He's fast. He runs hard. He's not going to make you miss, just like we were just talking about. But he's going to be able to turn on the afterburners, and he runs through contact a little bit, which I liked as well.
He's got straight line speed, and when you convert his testing out of the wide receiver group and into the tight end group, I mean, you're talking about the 10-yard and 40 are over 90th percentile, and the broad jump is 94th percentile. So if you make the position change to him and keep him at, what, 235, say he plays at 240, whatever it may be, you're talking about a higher-end athlete at the tight end position, and that's kind of his calling card of a better transition instead of just being a big wide receiver.
Right. I think so. I think that's what he is. And he is good at blocking his space. Again, he's not going to be a road grader, but I think he's a guy, too, that if you put his hand down to the line of scrimmage and you had to do that, like he's not going to shy away. He's going to give effort, and he's going to try to get it done. And like I said, with that ass and legs and body he has, I don't think he's going to get overpowered. You know, I told you about Evan Ingram, right? He's not that freaky. You know, Gerald Everett was another name I wrote. I thought better natural receiving skills.
Chig Okonkwo, who played for the Titans last year. Same body.
The same body, exactly right. That's a good one. I wish I would have thought of that. Chig maybe was a little more the traditional.
He was.
Right. But yeah, still, it's along those lines. A guy that you can go, you catch a shallow cross, he catches a seam route, you go, he can make a really big play, and of course has the body to go along with it. So really, really, really like the guy Elijah Higgins. He's just a little bit of a different flavor than some of these other guys we've talked about.
Yeah, you have to put a little bit of creative thought into that one. Like, we like this guy as a player. We need to figure out how we're going to use him.
Because
the
Alan
college team
Lazard,
didn't do it for
your
us.
Quincy Enunwa, right? I mean, I think he's probably even stronger than Alan Lazard, but I think you're on the right,
too.
line
there. A little more compact
there.
than Lazard.
Exactly
Lazard's
right.
so tall.
Well, he is tall.
So, all right, so there's your honorable mentions. Let's look at our tight end rankings side by side here. There is one name that I do want to ask you about, or maybe we'll get to in a couple of weeks here, because we had it from a listener who asked, which tight end is going to be the late-round steal, and why is it Zach Kuntz from Old Dominion, a transfer from Penn State? So this was my tight end rankings here, Sims. We'll get to Kuntz in just a second. Mayer was number 1 for me. You had him 3rd. Darnell Washington was 2 for me. You had him 5th. Kincaid was 3rd for me. Still really like the player. You had him 1st. It's hard to see him not being an effective pass catcher at the next level.
Right.
Guys I was a little higher on, Tucker Kraft. Musgrave for me, I agree with everything you said. He just falls into 5 because of that speed and size combination.
Yeah, okay.
So, and then, some of the guys that you really liked as well. I'd need to get back to Whyle. That was one where I'm like, okay, I really want to watch more of him, of what he did this year. But, of course, really liked LaPorta. See him as that jack-of-all-trades guy. Probably a day 2 pick that can handle a lot of different roles for you. And then some of the later guys that are interesting to me, just because Schoonmaker and Strange, of course, are on there as well. But Kuntz is someone who, he's not really a tight end. He's just a gigantic wide receiver. We know Penn State, the way they recruit, they go get the biggest athletes. It didn't work out for him there. He goes to Old Dominion. He's super productive in 2021. He has an undisclosed season-ending injury this year. But when you just look at the testing with Kuntz and what he's able to do in the red zone, he's somebody to me, because he's literally like one of the best testers at tight end we've had in a while. But I don't think he's playing NFL football this year. He'd be my practice squad, like what we've seen with Lawrence Cager's career path go, Jets and Giants. Like, we're going to stash him. He's an athlete. Can we get anything out of him as a blocker? But he's going to be a red zone presence.
That's where I hear you there. You know, he's
interesting player.
He is definitely an interesting player. I mean, he's going to get drafted because of these measurables.
Athleticism's insane.
Yeah. I mean, I really, honestly, like 5th round.
I think so.
I wouldn't be shocked
Just
to see him go
athletic.
there. Exactly right. He's got a size and a look like, remember Jelani Woods last year from Virginia? It's that kind of look, right? But, when I first turned on the film, I went, ooh, I kind of like this guy, But then the more I went, I started the blocking started to bother me a little bit.
It's not there.
It's not there.
You
exactly right. He
it,
stops on blocks. I mean, he's not going to root out bigger DNs or linebackers. The route running, he is quick. You can see that. He can get in and out of breaks really well. Good speed when he opens up.
Yep.
Right? I thought it was more of a build-up speed. I didn't think he actually was as fast as his 1.57 split, would say at the combine. And then, it was the physicality things that bothered me more than anything, whether it was the run game, the contested catches, wish he extended the arms more to catch some or shield defenders better in traffic.
It's not very physical.
Not very physical. But I think you're right. He's a guy that's going to get drafted, and you're going to go, well, he'll be our 3rd tight end this year. and we're going to work with him and see if we can't make him into something special that way, right? But he's raw. He needs to be tougher, runs really well for his size, has the ability to be a very good route runner, you know. And then the thing I wrote with him, to your point here, Connor, is I wrote, what is the guy like? This is one where the guy is going to be important. Does he like football? Is he willing to work? Is he going to take the coaching? Do you think he legitimately has some toughness in him that you can get out of him? See, those are the things to me that are going to dictate where he gets drafted and what people think of him. But the tools are there. There's certainly some physical ability and size. You know, a little bit like Charlie Kohler last year,
yes, that's
right?
a good one.
You know,
yes,
that's just like where you turn on the film, you go, "Oh, I can't wait to see this big guy who can run like this.
Yep.
He's going to be a force." And then you go,
flashes.
He doesn't hit anybody.
Yep.
He doesn't break a tackle. This guy touches a shoestring and he's
yep.
260 pounds and he went down, right? So that's what bothers you.
I'm with you. I think it was interesting to see how he runs and that his calling card is probably his ability to stretch the field.
Right.
And in that offense, that doesn't exist. Like in Old Dominion, the ball was just like an arm punt half the time, and he turns around and waits for it.
I know.
Like, I get it.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm with you all the way on character, kind of determining that one. Before we close out the tight ends episode, since I wasn't here for running backs, I wanted to show our rankings side by side of running backs. Obviously, we both see Bijan and Gibbs in the same light. I had Gibbs as a first-round player.
Oh, I agree 100%.
With you. So I was glad when you put them in the same tier.
I put them in, Bijan's my number one, but
of course.
That's what I did not want to be people to
Same.
Get the wrong impression by putting Gibbs in tier 2. Gibbs is a first-round running back.
100%.
Like, if you're asking me, would I rather have Gibbs or Travis Etienne, I'd go, I'm taking Gibbs. Right, I like Travis Etienne. He's a little bigger. I understand that, but I'm just giving an influence or an instance of a running back who went in the first round not long ago, and I go, well, this guy's better than him. I love Gibbs. He's made for the NFL.
He's shot out of a cannon.
Yes.
And then where we got a little different was 3 to 5. Now, I think we both agree this is a pretty deep running back class. I like Roschon Johnson a lot, like you do. I really liked him, Tajay Spears. But for me, Zach Charbonnet, I like the body type and the ability to really do anything.
Right.
A-Chain's interesting. He's somebody that if he goes to the right place that utilizes that speed,
agreed,
it's going to be home run central. If you want him to be like, hey, we're going to give you the ball 20 times through the A-gap a game, you're in the wrong place.
No, that's not what you want to do.
You're in the wrong place.
No,
so
you want to use him like Austin Eckler, right?
Yes.
That's the kind of guy that he is there, right?
And he needs to become a more natural pass catcher to get there, but the speed is unreal. I'll tell you, Sims, number 5 for me is my biggest riser of the last 2 months. Izzy Abanikanda.
Yeah.
I mean, tested off the charts, massive production at Pitt. No idea what he's going to do in the pass game at the NFL level. I don't think the pass pro is there, and they just didn't really throw him the ball. But pure runner, pure special stuff.
He was in my running, as the people that are involved in my podcast would tell you, for the number 5 spot.
There you go. So we probably are eye to eye on where he's at.
The only reason I didn't make him number 5 was just that I wish he ran with a little more aggression and violence at times. That was the only reason.
Yep.
But he has an elite trait in, if there's a seam, see you later.
Yep.
Like he's going 80, right? So I hear you there. He's got probably the best long speed out of any running back in the draft, right?
I think so too.
And he's got a body to go with it, and a body that tells that, I go, man, I think somebody's gonna be able to get him to run with a little bit more of a physical demeanor. But yeah, I'm with you with that, and I do think that's a deep class. I like Zach Charbonnet too.
Yeah,
I do. There was just some other guys that, I liked a little bit better, but it's deep. Like, I felt bad, even like Eric Gray from Oklahoma.
Really good film.
Another guy that I look at almost like your Chain, where I just go, he's in the right offense and he's used the right way.
It's going to be different.
He's going to be awesome in the NFL. Yep. So, it is a running back, tight end. We just hit on 2 positions that got a lot of good players that are going to be in the NFL for a long time.
Yeah, and it kind of brings the question of, a guy like Kincaid or Mayer or Washington, they're great players, but can you wait till day 2?
No, I know.
I'm fascinated to see the stare down with all the teams that are like, I love Bijan Robinson.
Right.
I love Jahmyr Gibbs, but I'll take Abanikanda at the top of round 3 or the end of round 2.
Right. No, I feel like Gibbs and Bijan are few picks.
Yes.
They're like, wait, our team's really good, and we can go with the running back that's great here.
Yep.
Even though it's, we think we can get one in the second or third. we got everything we need on our roster for the most part, so we're going to go with this.
And somebody will.
And somebody, that's where I look at like the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles could do it.
Oh my gosh, if they end up with Bijan Robinson or something like that, you just go, holy crapola, Batman.
Where are the Bengals at with Joe Mixon?
Exactly.
That'll
pick
factor.
28.
That'll factor in a lot.
They could get one of those guys.
I mean, that's really, really scary.
I see people mocking one of those guys to the Bills, right? Like, I see that. I mean, they're going to be one of those guys is going to go. Bijan Robinson, I think, is going to go somewhere in the top 20. I think.
I wouldn't even be surprised if somebody moved up and in for him.
I
mean, I know it's crazy to trade up for
number
a running
10
back,
with the Eagles. Like, they might be like, you know what, we'll go with it right here. Right.
I mean, he's probably a consensus top 5 player in the draft.
I would
when you factor
agree.
in that.
Definitely top 15 player in the draft. That's for sure. He made my top 15 list, and I'm not done with everything yet, but he's definitely one of the top 15.
I really saw Rams, McVay, Todd Gurley.
Ooh,
with
I
him.
hear you there too.
He's going to play on the field. We'll kick him out to the slot.
Yeah.
Like, really anything we need to ask
No
of this
doubt
guy.
about it. He can do it all.
Yep. So, all right. I think that wraps it up for us
did.
here.
We did it, baby.
We have some questions that we'll save for another
save,
show.
Yep.
You and I, we talk too much.
Well, it's all right. We hit it all. We like football. We dive
do.
into it. Yeah, we
And
go
we love
way
the draft.
back, like 4 flats and a Cadillac.
That's
okay,
right, buddy.
me and Connor Rogers, we go back to our Bleacher Report days. Now we are dominating NBC Sports,
That's
and
right.
NBC Sports
We're
loves
here
to
to
have
conquer.
us. Deal with it. We're here. Yes, that's him. He's cooler dressed than Ahmed Fareed. He's wearing a
pants.
jean jacket with a hoodie. All right, he's the man. Connor Rogers. Appreciate
Thanks,
you
man.
driving the ship today. Really
it
do.
It was awesome.
Always fun. We'll get you on. You're hosting again next
I think
Wednesday?
I'm back next Wednesday.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So you're back.
Ahmed will be back Monday. You guys are doing edge rankings.
Right.
I don't know
you'll
what
get to
I'm back
react to
for
that.
yet.
All right,
I'll
we'll
react
have some talk about that.
Another great deep class.
Deep is
They're giving me a lot of the exciting things to react to here when I come
good.
on here,
It
which
just
is great.
felt that way. We didn't plan it out that way.
No, it's beautiful.
So
though.
it's perfect, but I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
And
It's always
a
pleasure.
We're going to visit with you a
Absolutely.
few more times before this draft for sure. All right, everybody, you know where to find us. Subscribe, rate, review. It's Chris Sims Unbuttoned. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the tight end breakdowns with me and Connor Rogers. Think we hit it all. You know where to find us. Keep sending the questions. No question is dumb. We like to address everything. And let me know if there's something you disagree with. You know, I'm always going to self-scout thyself to a degree. We're coming back Monday. Ahmed Fareed will be here with yellow pants and a bad energy drink. We're doing the edge. It's a never-ending list of good players. All right, everybody, have a good rest of your week. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Peace out. Clap it up. Yeah, we got Connor clapping. Yo, 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 thanks for watching, homies. It's the off season, but you know there's no off season for us here at Unbuttoned. Me, Ahmed Fareed, we're going to hit all the stories. So hit subscribe for us, okay? We got a ton coming up. My draft prospect rankings, my Sims top 40 quarterback countdown, and videos of me and NFL QBs playing catch and talking about their development and mechanics. Again, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out, homies. See you soon.